A lot of people, men who choose to be police officers, were bullied when they were children or young, in school, and now they get a gun and, the backing of the American legal system, and they get to be bullies. They get to get some kind of revenge for all of that treatment that happened to them. And people that weren't bullied like that usually don't want to go into a profession where they lock other people up and have to tackle them and handcuff them. They're just not into that. And that's just the way society works. And so these guys who get to be police officers become bullies themselves to get revenge for the bullying that had happened to them. And a lot of times what comes off as racism is these people, bullies, love someone who is defenseless. And the more defenseless the person is, the more they're going to bully them. If they stop a white guy in a nice suit and a Mercedes, they're going to be very respectful and they're going to act one way because they know that guy can get lawyers, he's friends with judges, he can just rip them to shreds. And if it's a poor white guy, he's going to do, he will treat him totally different than he will the guy in the Mercedes and the suit, because he knows that guy probably can't get a lawyer, but he can go into the courtroom and be a white guy. And a lot of the court officials are mostly white and they might identify with him, but he gets a black guy. And he can totally vilify this person, bring them into an all-white court, and they have just very little defense against him. And that is, so this is just a wonderful place for him to vent all of his feelings. And it's not because the guy is black, except for the fact that that makes him more powerless. And that's what happens with these movie stars and athletes. The person thinks they're black and then finds out they have money and power, and all of a sudden the whole thing is switched on them. But these are the complicated intricacies of racism that we need to talk about, that it's not only about race. Sometimes it's about powerlessness and people who are predatory, and a lot of people in law enforcement are predatory, and we know that, and that's actually advantageous when they are trying to get legitimate criminals, and we try to control their behavior so their predatory tendencies only go for our benefit. But of course, just like everything else in the world, that doesn't always work. We have so much to do once we start really trying to analyze stuff and not blame people, but figure out answers.